Hey guys, and welcome to Comic Book Wednesday, which I'm posting on Thursday, which kind of sucks because, sorry, it's the fancy edition, I have to admit, sorry, I'm going somewhere tonight, very important, but yeah. So, I thought I'd just get this out as quickly as I can, get you all the info about what's coming up this week and what's next week I want you to go pick up. Of course, I'm out of school, so I'm not going to go to the old store because that's a little bit of a drive for me. So I'm going to the closer store, which has the bags and boards, which I like. So let's get started with this week's bunch. Well, I just want to tell you ahead of time, this week's bunch, I have to admit, wasn't that good. I'll have to admit, it's okay, but it's not like something you really need to pick up. Nothing's like the one you have to pick this up, okay? That's next week. Next week, we're going to get into that, and there's going to be a lot of debate on what next week is going to bring us, on what's going to be the must get if you have to buy something next week comic. So first, let's start with Marvel because they have the most. But first we have Age of Ultron number 9. Okay, so the Shield, the Iron Man helicarrier. I don't know what he does. It comes crashing down in part 8, and it explodes. And the rubble comes up, and Wolverine survives because, Wolverine is the most powerful being in the world. And it's the Wolverine from the Ultron universe, not the one from the parallel universe. But yeah, and basically you get to see what happens to him after that. And I'm gonna, this isn't a spoiler. Hank Pym is alive. He is in this book, and it's cool, I guess you can say. But like, it's a lot of dialogue more than it is you thought. And Wolverine makes a costume change in the middle of it, which makes no sense. I mean, okay. A nice putting on the old costume, but, like, not even the old costume. That's, like, a weird version of that costume. But, like, it's pretty nice. And the cover, of course, it shows Wolverine stabbing Wolverine. There isn't any of that. And there is something that the Wolverines talk. I'm going to sell that too. Wolverine does go back into the past to talk to Hank Pym. That's how we know Hank Pym's alive. They talk about something, and you want to know how they do it, which would be really cool, but they don't ever talk about it. So yeah, it was kind of, it's not the best Ultron book. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. It's not even in the top 3. It's probably in the middle somewhere. But I'm hoping number 10, it does good because, it's supposed to expand everything into this whole universe. Basically, there's supposed to be Avengers AI and like all this other crap that the Age of Ultron's like doing. The Guardians of the Galaxy is getting affected in some way. I don't know. It's just supposed to screw everything over, but like I'm not really seeing anything from right now how this is getting really screwed over. Number 10's got a lot to deal with. Of course, there's the epilogue as well, which is just gonna explain the how the AI starts apparently, and there's this Hunger series that's coming out that's basically about the Age of Ultron and how it affected something. It's not really explained, but it's a mini series that's only 5 parts. So again, not that good this week, but Next we have Thanos Rising number 3. Now, of course, people know I did not like issue number 2. Issue number 2 was teenage drama Thanos with murder. That's all, really. Nothing really about it. Just, I'm misunderstood. I'm a teenager, and I have no idea what my problem is. Well, now he's a phone-grown adult now, and luckily he isn't like that anymore. He has a job. He has a family he's starting up, and he has conflicting issues with himself, though, which I really do like, that he's going through his head, like, what am I doing with my life? What's going on with this? Which is pretty neat. It's actually nice to see that he has conflicting issues that aren't just like, oh, what was me? I'm a teenager. But it's nice to know that. Definitely, it's one of the better. It's definitely the better issue than number 2, but I still want to say it's better than number 1. It's got issues, definitely. The fact that, the ending, of course, is another shocker. I'll tell you that for sure. The ending is a shocking value. But the fact he goes... I'm going to spoil a little bit here, but he goes back to his home planet to go see his mother's grave after he's murdered her at the beginning of the book as a teenager. It's years later. He goes back to his mother's grave, and he talks about how he should have been murdered as a child, and then that nameless chick appears who talks to Thanos. And I swear to God, I'm already going to call it out right now. I just think she's a figment of his imagination, or something like that. It's plain obvious, of course, from this point on. It's really hard to debate why it wouldn't be. Just honestly, we're seeing, like, I don't think anyone else has really seen her except for him, and she doesn't have a name. And the fact that she appears everywhere when he's in, like, a time of need, and then just murders everything. Because at the end of the book, he murders more people. I'll tell you that. It's kind of shocking there. It's very gruesome. But still, it's just hard to debate. And again, when he works on the ship, his captain is a very big dick to him, which is very nice because, you know, Thanos is trying to get his job done. That's all that really matters. But, of course, his captain's a dick to him, and, you know, he's just trying to kill him. And, of course, there's a cool battle scene with him and his captain, which is pretty cool. And, yeah, it was pretty good. It was definitely better than Age of Ultron this week. Finally, we have the movement number 2. Now, of course, you all know I love the movement number 1. Gail Simone and Freddie Williams II did an excellent job with that. I thought it brought great story, it brought great characters into it, and it's going to bring a good story comparison to the Green Team, definitely. And we're going to see definitely conflictions between the two at some point in the future. However, this issue had some major issues. A lot of the characters were just bitchy the whole time. Not really much of a story this time around, just more of arguing. And definitely the character conflictions are all over the place. You really don't learn any more about these characters. Definitely not as much as you did in the first issue. Of course, there was a lot to present in the first issue, but again, this issue was just like, here's a character that you already know. Let them argue with each other. And of course, they're trying to develop the plot. Oh yeah, the police are run by this organization. And, you know, it's pretty cool and all, but they didn't really expand upon it, as I like to say. I don't know. It's very conflicting. I wanted this issue to be as good as the first issue. I'm very disappointed with that, and that's probably why it's not my favorite of the week. With that being said, our top 3 for this week. Number 3. Age of Ultron, Book 9. I don't know why they call them books. It's issue 9, but you know. Yeah, like I said, it wasn't really like the best issue, but again, it was probably the weakest of this week. I don't know why, but they haven't been really doing the best on my standards. I think on a lot of people's standards as well. People were expecting a really big book from issue 1, and they got that, but everything else has been like crap from there. 2, the movement. Again, I was expecting a lot more from this week, and of course, it was a lot better than Ultron, but again, you just put characters all together and they're arguing with each other. I'm expecting better from issue 3, because I'm still going to be collecting these. But still, it's not even funny how, like, this issue was just, like, not really that good. And number 1 was Thanos Rising, number 3. It definitely expanded upon the second issue a lot more, and a lot better than the second issue did. It felt like a better relief from the second issue. It's not just teenage drama this time around. It's actual conflictions between the character and like life and his work, and basically what he wants to do. Of course, issue 4 is going to bring the Infinity Gauntlet into it, and then number 5 is going to begin the Infinity series, which will be excellent. Can't wait for that, but of course we have to wait till then, which is another month from now to fully expand more. But yeah, let's talk about next week, because next week is going to suck. So we already know, number 3 next week is going to be Nightwing, number 21. Yeah, I know, Nightwing is a great series. However, it doesn't compare to what's coming out next week. First, we have Batman number 21, which we also like to call the beginning of Zero Year. Holy crap, everyone's excited for this. It's basically Scott Steyer and Greg Capullo's Batman Year 1. basically what everyone's calling it. They're going to be their version of Batman Year One, which is going to be, whoa. Everyone already knows this is going to be crazy to do. But the other thing that's coming out this week is also by Scott Snyder, but it has a great artist behind it. His name is Jim Lee, and we all know what it is. Superman Unchained. This is probably going to be the book of the year. Everyone's already openly admitted it. This is just going to be the most crazy thing to come out this year. It's going to be crazier than Infinity. It's going to be crazier than the Age of Ultron. I know I'm comparing it to Marvel, but it's also going to... I'm going to say this, it's going to be better than Zero Year. And that's going to be crazy. Superman is going to be better than Batman this year. And I'm not just saying that because, of course, Man of Steel comes out next week. But it's the truth. Superman Unchained is going to be like unstoppable next week. Everyone's going to be picking it up. It's going to be a great introduction for new readers. Everyone's going to be, of course, picking it up after Man of Steel if they've never read a Superman comic in their life. Even if Man of Steel sucks, they'll want to know what it is. Which, I bet Man of Steel will be pretty good. I'm just going to openly admit that. I mean, it's probably not going to be the best movie ever, but, it's going to be a great Superman movie, definitely. I'm expecting it to be good, but, I just check my Twitter just so you can know what I think about it, because I'll definitely be tweeting about it after I see it, which will be sometime next weekend. Oh my god, my voice. I do apologize. I'm a little bit sick this week. Yeah, I'm fancy up and I'm still kind of sick. I do apologize for that. But yeah, thank you for watching this Comic Book Wednesday. Definitely a crazy week next week, but not this week. Just if you want to pick up something this week, it doesn't really matter to me. There's nothing, but definitely, if there's something I definitely should have picked up this week, definitely leave it in the comments below. Definitely, I'll look through them, definitely, and, there'll be something interesting to look through. So that's it. This is Sonic Fable, and thank you all for watching this on this Thursday, and I will check you all out later.